What is up, everybody? Let's freaking do this. Welcome back to another tutorial. We're gonna check out the master chain that I have on this tune. Alright, are you ready? I have some plugins on here. We're gonna check out each one separately, okay? But first, let's take a quick look. First, I have a simple EQ. I boost some of the low end here and some of the highs. Very simple, guys. And after that, I have the Grand Finale from Klevgränd. It has some of the compression and some distortion, some compression and some compression, and some gain, and also an EQ. And then let's move to our multiband compression from FabFilter. Okay, are you ready, guys? This one is very good. We're gonna check out what I'm doing here. This is actually from a preset, as you can see here. It's a basic 4-band punch balance punching, yeah boy. And then we have an EQ again to boost some of the lows, take away some of the 280 and still leave room for the snare here, and actually boost some of the 700s here and take away everything above 19 so that won't interfere with my other plugins. Maybe baby. And next we have our little secret, no, it's a bus compressor from Waves. It's a solid Slate Logic SSL Comp, and in this one I try to work around 3 or 4 dB and max out the attack on this one. It's 30 milliseconds. Other compressors have more. If you look at the Logic, compressor, we go to Dynamics and we check out what just happened. Am I alive? I think I am. Okay. The attack goes up to 200 here, but if you're using the built-in compression in Logic compressor, my Swinglish is good today. You can set it at 30 and set the release low. So I want it to work at all times. We're gonna get back to that, my friends. In this one I have the Sooth 2 from Oak Sound, I believe. We're gonna double check so I don't, yes. In this one, the presets are so freaking damn god awesome, yeah. So I often use the mastering or mastering advanced presets. In this one, I have the leave the mid range alone. It's a nice one, and I just set the depth, the level. And I have the Freeclip. This is a free plugin, a clipper. I used the Quintic, so not hard, but kind of hard. And I actually use some of the oversampling. Consumes some of my CPU, but actually I don't hear a huge difference. It's just for the placebo effect. And then we have our L2, our limiter, and I use the loud and hard rock metal dynamic punch preset here, and I set the gain accordingly, and also set the output level, the true peak level to -1. And then I have my loudness meter. Not mine, but Logic's, and it's here. And on this loud part it's quite a lot of LUFS, guys. -5.7. But overall, the integrated LUFS, which is the overall LUFS of the song, guys, is probably lower, but probably pretty high, from 7 to 5 on the minus scale. Adam from the future coming at you. I forgot to turn on each plugin separately. Let's listen. Okay, guys, let's turn off everything and turn on one by one. This is how it sounds with everything on. Let's turn everything off. Of course, there's gonna be a huge volume difference. Try to up the volume a bit. Let's turn on the channel EQ. Now when we turn on the Grand Finale, the volume will go up quite a bit, as you hear, because we have now we don't have a limiter here. I've turned off the limiter here in our cool plugin right here. Multiband. EQ. Compression. and limiter. As you can see, we have a volume bump here. I will lower the volume a bit. I'm gonna lower the volume a bit. If you didn't hear me, let's freaking go. Do this one to be multi-side. The loudness meter does nothing to the sound. Let's up the volume. Let's get back to old Adam. Goodbye. Okay guys, let's check out the first plugin, okay? Yeah, do you see what I'm doing? Let's listen. So I have a little bass stuff going on right here, guys. What do you think about it? I don't know. Let's zoom in, guys. So essentially what I'm doing here is just boosting the low end a bit. Let's listen with and without, shall we? Are you ready for some differences? Yeah? Yeah. So this makes it more mid-focused. Yeah, it's good too, but we want that low end and that high end. Nice! And drowning sounds. Yeah, let's not dwell in that. Let's check out the grand finale, okay? Are you ready, guys? So here you set the input level so that it is green, and then the output gain accordingly. I have a lot of gain stages here, so I just set it so I don't set it too high. I don't use the limiter here in this one. I use a little bit of distortion here and you know, a bit of compression as well. And I use the default here. You have a couple of modes here, fast and gentle, fast and hard, slow and gentle, yeah, you see. And I add some gain. Let's listen to this channel solo. Are you ready, guys? I use the extreme distortion on this one. I find it adds some sparkle and stuff. So that's the channel separately. Some high end and some compression right there. I do some hard compression here. Let's listen. And these are some one fix button fix stuff. You don't really see what's going on underneath, but you can choose the default gentle or hard. And then, guys, we have the multiband compressor here. So I have two multibands. I will show you how this sounds. So this is the high. So it's a bit of an EQ and compression in one, and it's kind of cool to do this as well compared to this one. On this one here, you have to listen more, and you can't change much. You can change the medium squeeze to something else if you want to. Heavy squeeze, extreme, and vocal, bass, and such. So with this one you have to listen. Okay, let's listen to the high mid. This one can be a bit harsh sometimes, so you have to be gentle on this one. Soothe can manage to take away some of the harshness as well, if you want to boost some of it, you know. Comes very scooped if you boost the low mid. So try to use the compare button here like a cool teacher, but it didn't work as I hoped. Let's listen with and without the whole multiband compression. Swedish boy today also. And then I center the bass with this one. So this it says stereo right here, but you can also change here if you want to do something different. You could, for instance, center the bass, which I'm doing here, or you can widen the top, and you can widen all, or something in between, I guess. And when center bass is active, you center the bass more by dragging up this knob. Let's listen. It's disappearing! Ah! This one actually does a huge part, you know. You want the bass in the center, and guitars you want on the side. So a stereo image, very cool, guys. And then we have our EQ here, just some bass and some treble. Let's listen with and without. I also have a low cut here, 70 Hz and below. Let's move to our EQ, our next EQ. Let's listen to some frequencies here, okay. I'm boosting this one a bit. And trying to get the low snare going, you know. Taking away some of the burp sounds. I actually wanted to keep some of this, you know. Some of the guitar, yeah. Taking away some of this. You can't hear it probably, I can't. It is to save us and my other plugins from disaster. Might help a little bit. And I also do a low cut here from 35. To make it a bit tighter and stuff. Okay, let's move on. Let's move to the SSL compressor. Wow. Compressor. Okay, let's go. Glues the whole mix together. Might put the volume up a bit, or that might feel like it does. Swinglish. Wow, it's working around -3 or 4 decibels here, and I crank up the attack here and lower the release to 0.1 second. And I have the ratio here on 4. I don't use the analog mode here, and I try to make up as much it's reducing here. It also makes the mix a bit wider, I think. Let's freaking go forward now to our Sooth, our savior. It makes so that our clipper and limiter here are working properly. And let's listen what it's reducing here. So it takes away some of that stuff you don't want, you know. Some of the low rumbles here in the mids, sides and stuff. It's working mid-side. I don't actually know. Yeah, it's okay. It's mid-side mode. Yeah. And you can check out the individual bands to see what they are doing here. The balance here is on the sides, and here is a bit more centered. Makes it a bit cleaner. Very good. Let's crank it up and see how much we can do this, guys. Okay, we're done. We call it a day. Goodbye. Goodbye! Just freaking kidding, guys. Bring it back. You know, when you first buy Sooth, you might put it on every track and think, oh, it sounds cool. But then you hear, when you learn stuff, that it takes away stuff. And if you have too much stuff taken away, life's not worth it. Okay, let's move on. We have our Freeclip here, okay? It controls some of the highs and it pushes everything together to get a sausage tone, guys. Let's touch this oversampling button, but you won't probably hear anything. And we can crank it up so we can hear what this is doing here. So it's distorting the whole mix. If you have too much, it sounds like a crip. But a little bit of it is very nice, okay? Yeah, it's clipping a bit here. Maybe I should put down the gain. Very good, very good. Okay, let's move to our last friend here. We have our limiter. Woo! As you can see, it's making the sausage even bigger. So let's check out what it's doing. With this button here, you can make it so that you only hear differences in sound and not in volume. So you can hear what the limiter is doing to your mix as well. So let's check it out. This is what it's taking away, you know, the peaks here. It's very transparent. This limiter is very good, I think, even with the hard rock metal stuff going on. I don't use dithering here. You could use that if you want to. I do it when I bounce later on. Maybe it's good to use it here as well, if you have the CPU, guys. And I also have the out level, the true peak, on -1. Spotify says -2, but -1 is enough, I think. Crank it up, baby. At least to the last, we have our loudness plugin right here. We have momentary. Whoa. Yo, yeah, okay, that's an arrow. We have momentary, we have short, and we have integrated, okay? We want to look at the integrated, yeah, here, and let's check out what it lands on, baby. So I've cranked up this quite a lot. Let's change the cycle. I can speak while this sounds, while we measure. I will speak, yes I will. The integrated here shows the whole song's LUFS, which is how loudness is measured. And it's important if you're gonna put songs on streaming platforms to know a little about. -14 is recommended, but metal stuff is usually higher, 7, 6, or in this case it's -5, which is very loud. And as you saw here, the more quiet part here was a lot softer. And you can see that if you look at the momentary and the short. The momentary is just a very short amount of time, like milliseconds or milliseconds, I think. And the short is over a couple of seconds, you know, all measuring loudness level, but over different periods of time. And that's about it for the master chain. We're gonna check out a bonus here. Might have mentioned it in my snare video, but let's check it out, shall we? It's my bus out here. At the moment I have track spacer here for my vocals, which I have side chained to my vocal tracks. But we're gonna check out the compressor here. This one I put on in the beginning, right? Yeah, let's remove this one. And let's check out this compressor. So what I have here is my snare bus. So when the snare hits, it pushes down the whole mix around -4 dB or -0.7. So that makes the snare pop a little more, but I don't send my vocal tracks through this bus right here, because I don't want the vocal tracks, which I don't have in this song, I don't want them to be pushed down by the snare. I want them to be at the front at all time. And the ratio is around 4 here, and I set the threshold, so it works around minus 3.7. That's very cool, man. And I have 11 milliseconds and 40 milliseconds. So kind of fast, I wanted to push down the mix when it hits. And I have the side chain external here, so it works only when the snare hits. Okay, guys, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and you can check out like this video here or this here if you want some more here, some tutorials. And I also have some presets down below if you want to support me. If you want, only if you want. You are cool. Let's have a snack. Goodbye.